Hey, happy Friday. I'm Nick Oresco, and thank you for joining us for 22 News at 4 o'clock. Quite the windy day out there today. Let's get right to it with meteorologist Brian Lapis. We have some gusts out there, Brian.
Yeah, and stay close because after we do traffic, we're going to do a little game show.
Can't wait.
We're going to have Nick guess the maximum wind gusts. It's going to be fantastic television. Or whatever this is. Is this TV or is this computer?
It's both.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's take a look at traffic. And surprisingly, with the ferocious wind, we are fairly okay here. I'm not seeing any significant problems on the Pike. I-91 is looking good as well. A couple of slowdowns on these surface streets here, like Route 5 in West Springfield, but no major problems. So we're in good shape. All right. Let's go to the camera, and we're going to bring Nick back in. Nick, there we go. So we have North Adams, Pittsfield, Orange, Westfield, and West Ovair Air Reserve Base.
Yep.
Those 5 reporting stations. Take a good guess at what the maximum wind gust was at those 5 reporting stations today.
I'm going to go 61.
That's a really good guess. Let's take a look. And the maximum wind gust was 60 miles per hour at North Adams and Pittsfield.
Close.
Yeah, very close. That's because you're a smart guy.
Oh, thank you.
We did have yeah, that's right. Nick Oresco wins some Cool Ranch Doritos from the vending machine. Yay! Okay, there's our winner. He's looking great. So we did have an unofficial max wind gust of 70 miles per hour at the summit of Mount Tom. So there's that. It's been windy. It continues to be windy. Here are the wind gusts right now. 46 mile per hour gust at Westfield, 45 miles per hour in Springfield, 45 miles per hour in North Adams. Also, we've got the high wind, the wind advisory in effect for central and eastern Hampden, Hampshire, and Franklin County, Berkshire County. Also a wind advisory for you until 7 p.m. and a high wind warning for parts of Berkshire County and also for western Hampden, Hampshire, and Franklin County. So it's going to be windy, we expect, into the evening hours. In other news, temperatures, as we expected, are cooler today, upper 30s right now, up and down the valley. And we've even had a few flurries with this strong wind coming in off of Lake Ontario. You can see a couple of scattered flurries. And our day could start with a couple of snowflakes tomorrow. Oh, you've heard enough from me. We'll talk about the forecast through the weekend with the 22 News Storm Team Skycast in just a couple of minutes. Now back to our wind gust champion, the windiest guy we know, Nick Oresco.
Well, continuing on that topic, Brian, the wind is also bringing down trees and power lines across the area. This was the scene on Moore Road in Springfield's Bay neighborhood this afternoon. You can see both a tree and a utility pole came down, blocking the road and landing on top of a car. Wires were also down on the road and was closed to traffic. Eversource reported that 22 customers lost power in this outage. And across the state, winds as high as 55 miles per hour brought down 4 stories of scaffolding in Boston. The collapse happened at around 11 o'clock this morning, landing on 2 vehicles. No injuries were reported, and fortunately, no pedestrians were on the sidewalk when it came down. The vehicles stuck under the wreckage were empty, thankfully. Brickwork was also being done on the building, but no one was working this morning. Now to the latest on the Karen Reed trial. Special prosecutor Hank Brennan has filed a motion to obtain the cell phone records from the controversial blogger known as Turtle Boy. Hayden Kearney is charged with witness intimidation in connection with the case. According to Brennan's motion, he intends to use the conversations as evidence that Reed had a guilty conscience. Reed and Kearney allegedly spoke 189 times on the phone, as well as through the encrypted app Signal. Jury selection in Reed's retrial is set to begin April 1st, though there are still motions to be settled. Today's motion hearing was postponed until March 18th. Members of the Massachusetts Mayors Association have sent a letter to the state's Utilities Department regarding the sudden increase in utility bills. The letter was signed by 26 mayors, including several from Western Massachusetts. According to the letter, the mayors said, quote, We strongly urge the department to use every tool available to immediately reduce energy costs beyond the baseline 5% reduction and establish reasonable rates that can be maintained within a sensible range in the coming years. Mayors from Northampton, Pittsfield, Westfield, East Hampton, Greenfield, and West Springfield also signed the letter. Let's have some more fun. Meteorologist Brian Lapp is back.
Yeah, the good news here is that while it's going to be annoyingly windy again tomorrow, we don't have any major storms on the way in here for the weekend. So that's good. Yeah. And looking long range, it's going to be much warmer here next week if that's your thing. Let's take a look right now. Clouds and radar. We talked about the wind gusts earlier, and that wind is going to continue to blow while we've had wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour, as we mentioned earlier. Now, as we get into the hours after sunset, the winds are going to relax a bit, and we'll have gusts over 20 miles per hour here this evening. You're still going to notice the wind if you're going to be out and about. Scattered clouds to mostly clear 7 p.m. A few scattered clouds at 9 o'clock. Still breezy here right through the overnight hours. And then some clouds in here as the sun rises tomorrow. This is 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. A few clouds, and watch closely. If you blink, you miss it. But there could be a little batch of flurries or even a light snow shower or two between 6 and 9 o'clock as another little push of cooler air comes in here. Otherwise, it's a mixture of sun and clouds, partly to mostly sunny day. Again, windy with some gusts over 25 miles per hour here tomorrow. High temperatures 36 to 40. Less wind and warmer on Sunday. We'll track it on 22 News at 5.
Just into the newsroom, Brad Marchand is no longer a Boston Bruin. The Bruins have traded their captain and franchise legend to the Florida Panthers just minutes before today's 3 p.m. trade deadline. The full trade details are not known at this time. A trade with Florida can be shocking as the Panthers are in the same division and knocked the Bees out of the playoffs the past 2 seasons. His deal with the Bruins was set to expire after this season. Job growth was weaker than expected in February as the Trump administration began to slash the federal workforce. According to today's Labor Department report, U.S. employers last month added a solid 151,000 jobs. Economists had expected 170,000 new jobs last month. The unemployment rate edged higher to 4.1%. The report comes amid efforts from Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency to decrease the federal government. The government's employment declined by 10,000 in February. Ware Public Schools celebrated Community Reading Day today. Community Reading Day is the culminating event of Read Across America Week, which celebrates reading and Dr. Seuss's birthday on March 2nd. Community volunteers paid visits to elementary and middle school classrooms with books of their choice to share the joy of reading and how it's important to their careers. 22 News Scrum Team meteorologist Adam Stremko and reporter Julia O'Keefe each had the chance to read to a classroom and encourage students to be avid readers and ambitious learners. Tonight on 22 News, starting at 5 o'clock, Springfield Chambers hosted their yearly Outlook event. Tonight, find out what state lawmakers are focusing on for this year's legislative agenda. And it's the first Friday of Lent, a look into why this Catholic holiday increases the demand for fish. Plus, Pope Francis has now been in the hospital for 3 weeks. We'll have an update on his condition.
Traffic is looking good as we head into the evening commute. You can see here no major problems on I-91, and also the Mass Pike is looking fine. 391, 291 with the usual slowdowns. Wind continues into the evening hours, and for at least half the weekend, we'll track it on 22 News at 5.
And you can get all your weekend news online at wwlp.com and with the 22 News mobile app. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you tonight starting at 5.